Welcome to
Plot
Plot Twist.
Twist.
I'm Mel.
And I'm Ash, and this is a movie review podcast. Welcome back, everybody.
I know it's been a while since our last show, but we had some things. I was in the ER, unfortunately, with
It's not funny.
with kidney stones. So if any of you have had those, you know that literally they're the worst. And
Kidney
I
stones.
don't wish them on anybody but really bad people.
Yeah, I would ask a whole bunch of questions, but I can ask that off air because I'm very curious about that. I've never had a kidney stone.
Don't want to violate HIPAA.
Yeah. And I was in Vegas. Woo woo.
That's our favorite vacationing spot.
Our
I didn't get to go
favorite
this
city
time, though.
is Las Vegas, Nevada. So I was there and she was sick, and then we just haven't been able to meet up yet. But now we're back on Father's Day.
Yes, with a really fun movie, The Devil Wears Prada. I'm sure most of you have seen it if you're listening to this.
If you're alive.
If you're alive, yeah. If you've watched any movies from the mid-2000s. What year did this come out? I think 2000.
I think 2006. We should
2006,
know.
yeah, we should know. But I'm pretty sure
This is
2006.
a movie podcast. We should probably know.
But yes. But we don't have to be right on every date every time, for the release of it. So The Devil Wears Prada, it did, let's see. It should tell me. It's not telling me. But it is rated PG-13. It does tell me that. But anyways, so this movie is about a girl who moves to New York, wants to become a journalist, gets the only job she can find at a fashion magazine, and she is the least fashionable person that you've ever seen, probably. And she can't quite grasp that she needs to change to work at this fashion magazine to actually like fashion, And so it starts off with her getting the job and basically, gonna be myself, gonna be true to myself, I'm not gonna change, and then she ends up changing and gets into fashion, and then it puts a damper between her and her boyfriend,
which I have things to say about him.
He gets on my nerves, honestly.
He's literally the worst part of the movie.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
I hate his character. Sorry to cut you off, but
that's okay. That's pretty much without giving anything away if you haven't seen it, which if you're listening to this, like I said, you've probably already seen it or you shouldn't be listening because we will give away spoilers. So, but that's pretty much the gist of it, and she, works there, and we'll get into it.
I just right off the bat, my negative thing about the movie, do negative first, is the boyfriend, Nate.
He's annoying.
He's played by
Adrian Gardner. Yeah.
He is, I can't stand him. I just literally can't, because they're making this big deal about her, like, changing, like, okay, whoop-de-doo.
Yes.
But I just, and the friends too. Like, you think at first the friends are like all cool or whatever with it, and she's even bringing them like samples and the designer bag or whatever, and then they're like, you missed his birthday party. I'm like, oh my god, get over it. Like, she is living her best life, doing what she wants to do. She should have hooked up with the other guy. I feel like plays the guy who's the main character on The Mentalist. I don't know what name.
I've never seen The Mentalist.
I'm like, you should have just been with him and lived your happy ever after life, because Nate is a loser.
Well, he's just not very supportive, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's not supportive. You're right. Those are the right words, but
it's like, come on, give her a break. She's literally trying to. I mean, I can see how he might think that, oh, okay, you're changing everything about you. But if she's changing for like a glow up, I'm like, why are you so mad about that?
Yeah, she looks amazing.
I know.
She's not wearing those frumpy clothes anymore.
I know. When I watch that movie, though, it reminds me like, oh God, I am her.
Oh,
I need to get some fashion.
That's funny. Yeah, I think my biggest negative thing about the movie is that her friends suck and her boyfriend sucks, and then at the end of the movie, she's like, I'm sorry for doing all of that. I'm like, why are you apologizing? Leave him. Go be with the other dude. That's my negative about the movie. Is that your negative about the movie?
Yeah, because he's super annoying. I do get really sad, though, whenever Miranda doesn't give Nigel the job. That part makes me really sad, but I get it because
I'm glad
that they have to do the hard things.
Yeah. I'm glad that they kept Miranda's character the same the whole time. Yeah. Because, a lot of times they'll they'll change the villain or whatever to like have a softer, open heart.
Right.
I'm glad they kept her as cold as she was the entire time from the
Mm-hmm.
beginning to end, because that's truly like how I'm trying to find the words. Like she wouldn't be changing because
Right.
of one person, if that makes sense. Like
Right.
she would not be just, oh, have a softer heart. Like you see her give like that real smile at
Right.
the
The
towards
end.
the end,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, okay, but overall,
She's still gonna do the same things
yeah.
over and
So
over
it's
again
not
because,
so
which some people may be like, oh my god, the boss, she's awful, but the reality is there is somebody has to do that job.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like I get it, you can kind of be a little nicer, right? But I mean, I guess there's some jobs that are just like if you're caving for this one thing, then you just have a mindset of like letting things slide, and she doesn't let anything slide
Yeah.
at all. I mean, I like her.
And the movie is based in New York.
Mm,
I love a good New York
I
movie.
know, me too. This is a perfect mid 2000 movies. There's so many early and mid 2000 movies are based in like New York and have that like
Hmm.
vibe of move there and live your dream,
I know, and then you
or
get there and
whatever.
you're like, what is this
Yeah,
shithole?
we've actually been to New York and it was shell shocking. Not to get off subject, but it was a culture shock for me to go to New York.
Yeah. I really loved upstate New York.
Oh
And
yeah,
then we
super pretty.
loved like down in Greenwich.
Yeah, Times Square is the worst.
Times Square was
Is
not
the
fun.
worst.
Not fun. I think maybe like if we went back and did different things, maybe. I loved seeing like the Rockefeller Center. Like doing all
Oh
that
yeah.
was fun. But just
Like I
like,
love the historical part of it, but
yeah,
the
it was
people,
so crazy.
it's a
We were like
culture.
yelling at people. Remember that guy? Like hit
The
like
one that
we were
hit
like
Tiffany.
walking. No, not that guy.
Some guy punched our other sister just randomly while we were walking. It was really weird.
That was in Brooklyn, right?
That was where that like. Oh yeah, I
I
think
think it was
so.
Brooklyn.
It was where that like amusement park is, Coney Island
Yeah,
or
I think it's
something.
Brooklyn.
Yeah.
But no, I'm talking about the guy, like, we were walking across the street, or like we were trying to go or whatever, but the light for us hadn't gone yet. But some guy was walking anyways, and there was a car coming, and he like stopped and like punched the car. He was like, F you.
I
Do you don't
kind of
remember that?
vaguely. I remember
I was just
driving through
like,
the bomb threat.
I was like, what?
We could do
Yeah,
a whole podcast just on our New York trip,
that
honestly.
was
I
that was
almost
something.
left the next day because I was having a major panic attack.
And the
Uh,
hotel room was like so tiny. Like we
and
could barely
the
move. There was
ceiling, the
four
ceiling
of
was probably
us.
only like 7 foot tall.
It was so tiny in there. Like I remember
It
the
was.
bathroom being so small. Like everything was just,
And I was very sick.
yeah.
That too. Yeah. Anyways, we could do a whole nother episode. But New York, it's cool, but also shocking.
So, our podcast is just kind of all over the place because I think that's how our brains work, and
Yeah.
maybe we'll get a better structure one day. But as of right now, this is
So
how
it's
it
just
is.
riffing,
So,
riffing off the movie.
um, I was gonna say like the opening scene, you see her getting ready, and then you see all the other girls getting ready, and they're
Mm-hmm.
just trying to like set a compare and contrast of her versus the other
Oh,
girls.
yeah.
And then I love that you see her go in to get breakfast, a bagel or whatever. And then when she finally arrives to interview, like Stanley too, she's like, "Did somebody eat an onion bagel?"
She's like,
I love that part. I love that they set that up, like because I'm sure there's nobody in there. Get obviously nobody's getting breakfast before they go in there. Half of them aren't even eating.
aren't even, yeah.
Is Emily when Emily's like, uh, fun fact, you should know this, but Emily's name is Emily
Emily
in
in
real
real
life.
life,
Emily Blunt plays
who is the
Emily.
first assistant to Miranda Priestley.
Um, like closer when they go to that gala or whatever. She's like, oh, you're looking skinny. She's like, oh, really? I try to get ready for Paris. And she's like, yeah, whatever you're doing is great. And she's like, yeah, I'm just not eating when I do feel like I'm gonna pass out. I eat a cheese cube. I was like, oh my god, I could
That would
never.
not work. I know. I don't think
I
that would
love
ever
food too
work for
much
me.
to be able
But
to do that.
okay, let's talk about Emily Blunt for a minute because she's probably my favorite character in the movie.
I love Emily
I
Blunt, but
I think her and Miranda are my two favorites.
I think Nigel's one of my favorites.
No, I do love Nigel
I
too.
just love Stanley Tucci. He's just so
He's hilarious.
amazing. I love him.
I love him in what's that movie with Emma Stone where she has the A on her? You know what I'm talking
I
about?
know what you're talking about.
Anyways, he's
Easy
really
A.
funny. Yeah, he's really funny in that
I
movie too.
love that movie. And then I love the part where so she gets there for the interview, and somebody says something, and Andy is her name, Anne
Anne
Hathaway.
Hathaway.
She goes, "Who's Miranda?" I was cracking up. There's like, it's not obviously like a ha 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 funny movie,
No,
but there
but the
are cute
one-liners are
little
what I love.
there are
There's a
cute
lot of
little
one-liners.
winners. And then when she answers the phone and she's like, "Can you
So
spell
go
cabana?"
ahead. That is one of my favorite lines. I do like that.
Oh,
It's just like, so Gabbana.
that part is so funny. I guess we could go to our favorite scenes.
Favorite scene? What do you think's yours? What's
My
yours?
favorite scene is whenever she starts kind of like breaking down, lets Miranda get to her. She starts kind of crying and she walks off and she goes and finds Nigel. And then Nigel's in the little magazine room or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
she goes in there and she's like telling Nigel, like, like, I'm not getting the recognition I
Mm-hmm.
deserve, blah, blah, blah. This is before she gets the
Right.
makeover.
Yes.
And she's like, I'm not getting enough credit, da 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 da, all this stuff. And he basically just like puts her in her place. He's like,
Mm-hmm.
you don't like fashion. You're not respecting the people that work here. You're not respecting the people who have the people who have been before her, like
Mm-hmm.
all the legends. Like you're not fully immersed basically into the fashion industry. So like why should anybody be giving you any credit? And then so he puts her in her place and she's like, yeah, you're right.
Because he
You're
was
right.
like, quit then. And she was like, what? Like, yeah, don't be shocked that somebody wants you to quit if you hate it that much, you know?
Yeah, and then it was so sweet, and then he's talking about how, there was this little boy who his brothers were playing baseball, and he wanted to read more Runway
Mm.
magazine. Obviously, he's talking about
Right.
himself, and she's just kind of like, okay, yeah, you're right. And then they then you she takes him or he takes her to go get her makeover and new clothes, and when they get back there, he like hands her that orange poncho, and she's like, a
Poncho.
poncho.
He's like, you'll take what I give you.
Yeah, literally so funny. I love that scene. I think that's one of my favorite scenes, just because it kind of builds up to like the rest of the
Mm.
movie and like who Nigel is, and I think he's one of my favorites in the movie. So
Yes,
that's why
so,
I
so
like
sad.
that scene the most, and I love a good makeover. Just like
Yeah.
in Princess Diaries where she has her makeover. I love
She's pretty fresh off that movie, too, when she did The Devil Wears Prada, I think.
yeah. I
Maybe a
love
few
a
years
good
different.
makeover montage.
Yeah. She did look really good. And the outfits, it does make me want to be so fashionable, but then I'm like, you're right. They only make these for like size 2 people. All the fashionable clothes now, I feel
And she was like, when they were getting
like.
lunch or whatever, and he's like, the new 2 is a 0 or whatever, and he was talking about the sizes, and she's like, well, I'm a size 6, and he's like, the new 14.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, God. I'm
Oh,
really up
that's
there
funny.
then.
Definitely a movie made back when people weren't so
Sensitive.
sensitive about that type of stuff.
Because there's a few cancel culture moments
Yeah,
probably
probably.
probably in that movie, but I don't believe in that. I
Like
mean, it's just
Emily eating nothing
yeah,
to be
yeah.
skinny. That's just how
She
it
was
was
like
back then, I feel
one
like.
of my favorite one-liners. She was just like, "I'm just one stomach flu away from my goal weight."
Oh,
I always say that anytime I'm sick. I'm like, "Oh, I'm about to lose like 5 pounds."
that's toxic of you.
I know, but it's like I don't know if it's going away without me having to do much. There it goes.
Okay, your favorite scene?
Oh man, this movie. I don't know if I really have a favorite scene from the movie because I just love all the one-liners in the movie. I man, I don't know. I don't think I could pick. Yours is the pretty good one. I do like that one. Um, hmm. I think probably um man, that's such a hard. I
Do you
just
have a
know
worse scene? A
the
scene you
worst
don't like?
the scene with the boyfriend.
Yeah,
Yeah,
any scene with the
any scene with the
boyfriends
boyfriends.
is not good. Um,
I don't know. It's like I couldn't. I like thought and thought while I was watching it what my favorite one was, and I just love all the one. Honestly, probably all the scenes with Emily Blunt are probably my favorite. I think she's the funniest on that show. Honestly, um, I do love. Okay, I do love the scene where Miranda's at the airport and she's trying to get a flight from Miami to New York, and she's like, "It's just drizzling
Yes.
outside." It was like a hurricane. That's one of my favorite scenes
Yeah, that scene is
because
really good.
that scene to me, honestly, because I have worked in like a corporate world before, where I have tried to pull like hat tricks
Yeah.
to try to get things done, and that's real life. I
Oh,
mean,
I'm sure.
bosses like Miranda, they do exist, and sometimes they do want stuff that seems impossible, even though most of the time you can get it done. But
Mhm.
there's sometimes that they're just like,
Yeah. Like
"What?"
the Harry Potter thing in
Oh
real
yeah,
life, ain't no way
yeah.
anybody's giving you like
Miranda wanted Andy to get the Harry Potter books bound for her twins, and it wasn't even out yet at all, and she had to scramble to get the script from that one guy.
yeah, her
Mm,
lover that she should
yeah.
have been with.
He's skeevy though.
Oh my gosh. No, he's not. He's not any. He's better than the other boyfriend. Than the other guy.
I think they're both.
I guess.
She just needs to be best friends with Nigel.
Oh gosh. Um, and then we have the famous scene where, um, they're in the car. And she's like, uh, TikTok made this scene, brought this scene back to life where she's like, um, oh, don't be
Oh,
silly. Everybody
yeah,
wants
don't
this.
be ridiculous. Everybody wants this. Yes,
Yeah,
and the
and that
TikTok world went crazy over that.
yeah, and that's the most TikToks I've seen when they have the dogs. It's like I don't want it's like I don't want
Yes.
dogs, and it's like don't be ridiculous, and they're like covered in fur or whatever.
I'm gonna make one of those with the girls. You can see we have our guest here today as well.
So I think that's one of the more iconic scenes, and then also when they're in the meeting room and they're talking about new ideas or whatever,
Nope,
and
girls.
that girl's like, oh, talking about spring or whatever, and she's like, yeah, I have an idea for like florals or whatever. And she's like, oh,
Oh.
florals in spring, like how
How
I,
original.
yeah,
Well, oh, I do love the scene too where they use this for TikTok. Remember whenever they were texting back and forth and or like it was like the TikTok trend where like, did you get the skirts from Calvin Klein? Did you confirm with,
oh,
whoever, whatever?
yes,
That's also one of my favorite parts too.
yeah, and she's like, it's like, yeah, I need 10 to 15 skirts from Calvin Klein. She's like, what kind? She's like, you're just staring at her, and then when she goes back out to tell Emily's like, what color, what size, what fabric? She's like, well, I asked, but she didn't say anything. She's like, you can't ask her
Yeah.
questions.
So it's like everybody's just supposed to know what to do.
Go over some fun facts about The Devil Wears Prada. And the first one is the movie's based off a book,
Mm-hmm.
and the book was written by the former assistant to the editor in chief of Vogue, Anna Wintour.
Yeah.
So that character, Miranda
Loosely
Priestley,
based.
is loosely based off Anna Wintour. Um, they had a whole bunch of studios that were fighting over the right to the book.
Oh,
So
really?
before the book even hit the shelves in 2003, many studios were fighting over the rights to turn it into a film. They only had 100 pages to go off of, but were confident in the book's premise. Fox's former president, Carla Hacken, told Variety, I was the first person to read it at Fox in 2000. I thought Miranda Priestley was one of the greatest villains ever. I remember we aggressively went in and scooped it up. And I am getting these facts from a website called Town and Country Magazine.
Okay.
It took 4 writers to get the screenplay right. So at first, they tried to adapt the film straight from the book, going through 4 writers trying to do so. Then they realized they needed to manipulate the story for the film, which is, if the book's only 100 pages, yeah, you think so, because that's
Run
a
out of
lot that
stuff.
they need to
Right.
fill in. If you study the book, said Carla Hacken, there is not a strong narrative that propels the plot forward. That required quite a bit of intervention and trial and error. And since there wasn't a strong third act in the book, we needed to invent that. So obviously, some of it is based
Right.
off the book, some of it is not. Let's see, what else is interesting?
Which honestly, the only character building in this is Andy.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, Emily like gets a tiny bit softer towards the end towards Andy, but Miranda,
Yeah.
like you said, the same.
Mm-hmm.
Nigel, the same. Which
Yeah.
she didn't really need. They don't really need character building because they are
Right.
the
Yeah, definitely. And this one's interesting. It says casting Miranda's kids was extremely difficult. The crew went through hundreds of twins before they found the right pair for the roles.
Which is crazy because they're not really in it, but for like one scene.
They're not in it at all. Like, couldn't you have just Lindsay Lohan it and copy and paste a person? Because this, I wonder if this came out the same time that, what's that? No, probably not. But
Parent Trap
Parent
was
Trap.
before.
Parent Trap was before?
So Devil Wears Prada, I did hear you say it's 2003. You said a second.
Yeah.
So Parent Trap was, I think, in the late 90s. Pretty sure.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, but either late 90s or literally like 2000. Let's see.
My point is that could they have not have just copied and pasted like they did for, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 1998, The Parent Trap.
Oh, wow.
I know.
The one with Lindsay Lohan?
The one with Lindsay Lohan, yes.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Obviously, they could have,
They had the technology to do it, is what you're saying.
Yeah, basically. Thomas Lennon was offered the part of Nigel, and Lennon had turned down the role due to conflicts with filming Reno 911.
Funny show.
I could put Thomas Lennon, a picture of him right here if you don't know who he is. I will do that for you. He was almost cast as Nigel. Stanley Tucci accepted the offer to play Nigel 72 hours before stepping on set.
Oh, wow.
4 months, the team struggled to find an actor to play Nigel. At the very last minute, they came across Tucci. He was on set playing Nigel only 72 hours before his audition. That always amazes me. First of all, like, I'm sure, you know, like, whenever you have a play, right? When you have a play, you obviously everything is hardcore memorized because you can't stop.
Right.
To ask. Like you have to know everything whenever you're doing a play because you can't stop. But I'm gonna, like, I always assume, like, that movie stars don't fully remember everything because they can start and stop and somebody can tell them,
right,
okay, you're gonna say this, do this, and then go or whatever. So, like, I'm sure they have a good,
but unless editing is just, unless somebody's just that good, which I'm sure they are, because obviously there's so much. But like when some of the actors and actresses do the long monologues, like where they're not stopping, that's impressive because especially if they're having to be in a character, about it. But
I'm just saying, like,
in general, stop, cut, play. Here's what's your line, So I think they'll do like feed me your line or whatever.
Oh yeah, like tell me the line, or I mean, I'll be like, I need cue cards. We can put some cue cards at the other end of the whatever.
Oh yeah, true.
They could do that, I guess.
Girls getting awfully close.
Juliette Lewis auditioned for Andy, and the crew decided that Lewis wasn't quite right for the role.
No, she's definitely a little bit older.
Yeah,
and
she's like spooky. Like,
she is.
She's faced spooky movies.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been a good choice.
I wouldn't.
I think Anne Hathaway was the perfect choice for that movie, and she's not my favorite character either because she's also kind of like annoying-ish. Oh. She's annoying-ish to me. I don't know why. Andy. Maybe at the beginning.
I don't know. I think she's like gives it a little bit of spicy. So Emily Blunt was in Los Angeles auditioning for Aragon when Prada auditions were taking place. At the last minute, her agent put her on tape for Prada. She flew home thinking all of her auditions were unsuccessful, but Frankel, the director, I think that's the director, loved her and called her house to offer her the part. Her mom picked up and said she was out at a bar. She was upset about the audition. I was in some dive club in London, Blunt said. I called him back from the bathroom. He said, listen, I would have cast you off the tape, but the studio wants to see you one more time. Can you do what you did, but dress the part more? The writers and directors didn't have anyone else in mind to play Miranda. They dreamed of having Meryl Streep, but didn't think it would actually happen. We had talked about Meryl a little bit, but I dare not allow myself to dream, said writer Aline. Aline? A-L-I-N-E. Elaine? Aline? Let's see. Meryl refused to play the role unless they raised her salary.
Which good for her.
I am expensive.
Good for her.
The offer was to my mind slightly, if not insulting, not perhaps reflective of my actual value to the project, said Streep. There was my goodbye moment, and then they doubled the offer. I was 55 and I had just learned at a very late date how to deal on my own behalf. I love that. Standing up for herself.
And she is just like such an iconic get for that movie because it didn't seem like maybe at first it'd probably be as huge success as it was, you know.
Right.
And actually, quick, it wasn't 2003, it was 2006. So sorry, guys, I think our dates are a little off, but it's 2006 when it came out. It could have obviously filmed before it comes out, so
yeah,
could have
definitely
been filming for a
It
while.
says
Girls,
this is interesting. It says that
I need
they
to cut
wanted
her.
Rachel McAdams to play Andy.
See,
Following her
that's not a
major
good.
success in Notebook and Mean Girls, the team pushed hard for McAdams. She turned them down, saying that she wanted to take a break from mainstream material.
See, I don't think she would have been a good choice either.
Yeah, I think Anne Hathaway was like a
Like the only choice.
Definitely a perfect choice. Okay, so this a news article lied. It said that there's 50 fun facts. There's only 20, but that's okay. So we
I
have.
do know one off the top of my head.
Okay, Melissa wants to share.
I
her
do
fun
want to
fact.
share because this cast it's a packed cast. Like especially now, some of these careers that they have, like Emily Blunt, unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
This is one of her more breakthrough movies, but she's gone on to do a lot of movies, and her husband John Krasinski, they do amazing work. I think they were the like directors or producers on also The Quiet Place, which is one of her other movies, which we'll probably do that one.
Yeah.
Eventually. So, but the fun fact is Emily Blunt, which is Emily in the movie, and then Nigel, which is Stanley Tucci, that's her brother-in-law in real life. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
No,
but
I think that's pretty cool though.
that is pretty cool.
I don't know.
So coming up, we have Devil Wears Prada 2.
Ooh.
It's coming next spring.
Please tell me it's not a musical.
Oh, it's a musical.
Better not be.
Just kidding. False facts.
You don't need to turn anything into musicals.
So I have an article from People Magazine out here giving us the tea. It says that in July 2024, the original 2006 film, which starred Meryl Streep, Anne Hathaway, Stanley Tucci, and Emily Blunt, was confirmed to be getting a sequel. While there haven't been official casting announcements, many of the original stars are rumored to return, stepping back into their iconic roles in the glamorous but evolved high fashion journalism industry years later. It says that it's going to be the plot will follow Meryl Streep's character Miranda Priestley as she navigates the decline of print journalism. That means that all the technology coming out, like nobody's picking up a magazine. But Stanley Tucci did say that I think we would have one of the best times ever. If it does happen, I can only say that I'll be happy, he said. I've made many movies. I've probably made close to 100 movies, and I don't even know how many television episodes. But that experience was one of the greatest experiences I've ever had. So obviously he really loved working on the movie, which is great, and enjoyed everybody. I always get so upset when people are like, oh, I didn't like working on that or whatever, and it's like a great movie. I'm like, I always feel like,
or if you find out that they like clashed, the actors and actresses,
yeah,
like the main characters, or something, if they didn't get along, that always bums me out.
Like too. Rachel McAdams and who plays the guy in the Notebook?
Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, they didn't get along when they were.
Really, I thought they were dating though.
No, I could have swore that they weren't getting along.
I don't know, because I thought they started dating either during the movie or after.
I could have swore that they didn't get along.
That's one for our list too, The Notebook.
Let's see.
Even I know some people think it's cliche, but it's such a good movie. Guaranteed to make you cry. That's for sure. Girls, no. Both of you can't be up here.
Let's see.
Sorry, guys.
See,
our mascots.
Yes, it is true that Ryan Gosling and Rachel McAdams did not get along well during the filming of The Notebook. According to the movie's director, Nick, Gosling even requested that McAdams be replaced because he felt they lacked chemistry. And they really did not get along day one.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that crazy?
But then they started dating
it
after.
says despite on-set tension, they later dated a few years. They dated a few years later after filming. So yeah, that's interesting.
I think they were great choices.
Oh
Like
yeah,
you couldn't tell they didn't have chemistry.
no,
I guess
not
they
at
figured
all.
it out.
Yeah, I loved them. But
And when is that supposed to come out?
this comes out next spring.
Next, so they must have already started filming. They had to have, unless it's like the filming doesn't need to take that long. But surely they already started that. They probably just haven't released. Sometimes you can look at I know Wikipedia is not
May
like the
1st,
number one.
2026.
Oh, okay, nice.
That's the release date.
Sometimes on Wikipedia you can look up actors and it'll say like post production, like it'll show you that they actually already were in the already filmed it. I mean, sometimes I don't know how reliable Wikipedia is because did you know that Wikipedia is like just average, just whoever can go on and put stuff
you can
on
edit
there?
it.
Yeah, that's
You
crazy.
didn't know that?
No, I did. That's what I'm saying. I'm asking if you knew that.
Oh
to me,
yeah,
that's
no,
crazy.
I knew that. That's why I don't trust Wikipedia. Like, somebody could have just put this on there.
I know. It's hard to trust.
Sometimes like, should I go on there and put something crazy in there?
But sometimes people are on top of that shit because something will happen and you go to look it up on Wikipedia and literally it's already on there. So there's just like people I think that are just
going back to like people who like other people didn't like working with. Chevy Chase.
I know, which is a bummer because I love Chevy Chase.
Yeah,
we will be doing some of his movies for sure. Some of my favorite movies are his movies.
A lot of people say that he's just not a nice person at all, which is
a bummer because he is so funny.
Which is definitely annoying.
What do we give the movie? What's your overall rating of the movie?
I give it a 4.5 out of 5.
Oh, out of 5. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say out of 10. I was like, I thought that was one of your favorite movies.
No, 4.
Oh, we're doing out of 5.
Yeah.
If we had to do it out of 5, I'd probably give it 4. Which on IMDb it's only I think it's 7 out of 10, which is interesting because I feel like so many people love that movie, but
yeah,
it's not like a cinematic, like crazy piece, that's like really in depth and has like a lot of like you said character building and stuff like that. It's more of like a light fun movie that literally you can just but it's one you can watch over and over. I always play it in the background.
Yeah, I definitely give it that just because of the loser boyfriend.
Yeah, mine's because the loser boyfriend and because it's not a movie that has like a whole bunch of like twists and turns.
No, definitely not. It's
for me
more
to give it a 5,
like
but
a comfort movie.
Yeah,
I play it all the time.
It just has really great one-liners too. I know I've said that, but it really does. Like gird your loins.
Yes. And then when she's like, talking about like trying to get a Demarchier.
Yeah, on the phone.
How do you say it?
Demarchier. I think that's how you say it.
I think we're saying it wrong. Marshall? Demarchier?
Demarchier.
Whatever. She's like, do you have him? That's a good part too. Do you have anything you want to add or talk about?
About the movie or just in general?
In general.
No. Do we have any? What's coming up this week at the theater?
Let's see.
But you still need to go see Bloodlines: The Final Destination because I really think we need to do one over that.
Yeah,
it's got a lot
I want to see that. I want to see Sinners.
Oh, I do want to see Sinners too. We will do some new movies too. We'll probably start that the time after next. We'll pick a new movie to do.
The Life of Chuck is coming out, which it's a sci-fi fantasy and it has Matthew Lillard in it. It's by Stephen King.
Matthew Lillard, we want you on our podcast. Did I tell you this? I think well, you know what? I'm not going to tell everybody our ideas. I'll tell you off air.
It says that The Life of Chuck is a Stephen King novella, and The Life of Chuck is about Charles Kratz, narrated in reverse chronological order.
Real quick, does it say novella or novel? Because
novella.
That's like a Spanish soap opera, isn't it?
Based on Stephen King's novella.
Okay.
The 3 acts picks up the events in Chuck's life as he lives. Act 3 revolves around the world, which is at the brink of apocalypse as people come to terms with it while celebrating Chuck at 39. I don't know. All I know is Matthew Lillard's in it because I follow Matthew Lillard on Instagram and he's always posting about it. So that's coming up, and then this new horror movie by A24. You've
Oh, I
heard of
love
that?
A24. Yeah, they put some like stuff that's like shocking. I think on
Um,
their in their films.
there's
I
this
love it.
new movie. It's called Bring Her Back. Have you seen
Okay. Mm.
the what's it called for that?
The trailer.
Yeah.
No.
It says the premise of Bring Her Back revolves around two orphan siblings, Andy and Piper, who are placed in the care of seemingly well meaning foster mother Laura. Laura, however, harbors a dark secret and a sinister plan to resurrect her deceased daughter using Piper as a vessel.
Oh wow.
So it looks pretty spooky.
I'll definitely
I
watch
see it
it.
all over my TikTok all the
There's some
time.
A24 movies I haven't seen yet, and I still want to see. Every now and then the A24 can get really out there though.
Yeah.
Like, wasn't what was that one movie? I think it was A24, where it's like this. They sucked you up into the space. You know what I'm talking about? I don't remember exactly, but I think that was an A24
I don't
movie.
know. I don't know what it's called.
I can't remember either. It had that one guy in it. I know that's so vague.
There's also a movie out called Materialist with
Dakota
Dakota
Johnson.
Johnson and Pedro Pascal
Oh
and
my god, we need
Pedro
to do
Pascal.
a 50 Shades of Grey review. I do want to do one of those.
I have heard so like it says it's a romance slash comedy, and people
Mm-hmm.
were hoping that it was a rom com.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw some reviews that people were mad because it definitely wasn't a rom com.
Oh, really? What was it more like?
I guess more just like a romance. Like maybe they just didn't think it was as funny. I
It
don't
was like a whole
know.
bunch of dry humor.
Or like maybe it just was like more drama
Hmm.
romance than it was rom com. I don't
Hmm.
know. It says a young New York City's matchmaker's lucrative business gets uh complicated as she finds herself torn between the perfect match and her imperfect ex. Ooh, sounds like every other movie.
Yeah. I think they're starting
Um,
to run out of ideas.
you think?
They just keep remaking and twisting the same stuff over and over.
You had texted me the other day and asked if I had ever seen Hacks before, which
Oh
is
my
crazy because
gosh.
I literally been watching Hacks since it
I
premiered,
just
since
binged
season
it
one
and
came
it
out.
is so funny.
Yes, it's like the
I
best
love
show.
that show. I think I have 2 episodes left.
I'm obsessed with the girl assistant. I think her name's Kayla or Michaela.
Ava. Oh no,
No,
Jimmy's. Yes,
Jimmy's
yes.
whatever. Like
I think it's Kayla.
obsessed with her.
She's
She is
hilarious.
so funny. She's getting her own show
Oh really?
on Netflix. It looks like a romance
Mm-hmm.
comedy type of show. So I do want to watch that because I love her. She's so funny.
She
And
is
the
freaking
guy who
awesome.
plays Jimmy,
Jimmy.
he is in Broad City, which I know
Oh,
you
I haven't
haven't
seen that.
started Broad City yet. You
I didn't even
need
know
to
that was a
watch.
show.
Yes, I've been telling you that you need to watch Broad City.
She tells me a lot of stuff, and I seem to forget.
You can watch it on Disney slash Hulu.
Mm.
It's basically the same platform. Um, you should watch it. It's hilarious.
Eventually, we could do a side podcast of TV shows.
Yeah, or we just do it
We could do it on
this
here,
one
but just do more a
afterwards.
week. A couple
And
episodes a week.
I know that you don't watch, but Love Island
Mm,
is out. Season USA season 7.
I don't
It's
because
so crazy. See, I watch more reality TV than Melissa does
yeah,
that. She
I
doesn't really watch
like
reality
sometimes I
TV.
like to watch the Kardashians just because they're funny.
Yeah.
I think they're funny. Like not in like trying to be funny. It's just they're just so like outlandish about some things that
Yeah.
it just becomes funny.
I watch
That's
a lot of reality TV. I love
and
like
makes me
Love
obsessed.
Island. I watch Traders. The new Traders cast just got announced, and it's Donna Kelsey is
Oh,
going to be on
really?
it. Yeah. So I'm
Interesting.
really excited about that. Makes me feel
Yeah,
more connected to
Ashley's a
Taylor Swift.
Swifter. A Swifter.
A Swiftie?
Swifty. Aren't they called Swifters too?
Definitely not.
Swiffer.
No.
I don't know. You know how I
Um
feel about Taylor Swift, so.
I wouldn't say anything or you're gonna get canceled.
I like her.
You'd be listening to her music, so don't
Oh, yeah,
even
no,
act
I'm
like that.
obsessed with her music, but her in general is just very interesting. We don't know her though, right? Well, kind of through her songs. I mean, geez Louise. We definitely know a lot.
We have the same birthday, so that's really all that matters. That's my biggest flex.
Is that you have the same birthday as Taylor Swift?
I use that on all my like icebreaker things. Like whatever we have to do at work or like anytime we have to have like an icebreaker or like a fun fact about you. I was like, me and Taylor Swift have the same birthday.
You don't know what fun fact I use?
What?
That I don't have wisdom teeth. That's hereditary.
I have one wisdom tooth.
Father did not have them.
And I have one, and I will never
Really?
get it taken out.
Why? Does it not hurt?
No, it doesn't bother me.
I think I have a weird phantom thing though, because my gums will hurt in the back, like where wisdom teeth are supposed to be, but there's nothing there.
Huh.
I know.
Yeah, I only have one. It doesn't bother me. And when I had gone to see a new dentist, they're like, "Oh, we'll schedule to get that wisdom tooth taken out." I was like, "No, like we're leaving that bad boy there. Like unless it causes problems." I don't understand why people take them out to begin with.
Well, because they start hurting.
Oh no, mine's been fine.
Okay, but
I can imagine if you had 4.
Is it
people have 4?
Where's yours? The top or the bottom?
The top left.
So you can feel one extra tooth back there?
Yeah.
It's so wild.
Is it?
It's I know, because I don't have any, so I wouldn't know.
I guess I don't really know the difference because.
But then when do wisdom teeth come in? Are they always there? Like when do they start coming in? Because I think they come in way late. Right?
I have no idea.
I don't either, but that is something.
I just know that I only have one.
And I have none.
It's like, oh, I get my wisdom teeth out. I'm like,
I know. That's kind of a weird icebreaker, but I like to use that one. Like a fun fact.
I'll also be like, oh, I have like 37 tattoos.
You have 37?
Yes, I do.
Dang, I guess they add up. Did you get one this past Friday the 13th?
No, I was working.
Oh.
I'm a working girly during the summer.
Scribbling those duplexes.
Oh, yeah.
Is that what you're doing?
Yep.
The make ready?
Yep.
A little side hustle with your hubby.
Yep. Fun. Like whenever you when you start like doing things with your significant other, whether that's moving or labor. I mean, you work with yours, but like there just comes to a point where you both start getting a little bit delirious. And then you kind of start like, we weren't obviously like arguing or anything, but it's just like the person could breathe next to you and you're like, yeah, can you not? Like, I love you so much, but I need you to.
That's really the only time we get in like any sort of fight is when we're moving.
Yeah. moving furniture.
Yeah.
Doing anything like I think it's more because like we were both like doing stuff, it wasn't like anything crazy or anything like that, but I feel like those TikToks where people always like posting like anytime you and you're sitting up together we're like moving things or like DIY. That's kind of what it felt like these past couple of days. Like we were DIYing stuff, and it just kind of gets like a little.
No, I get it.
A little crazy sometimes. Like I love those TikToks. That's so funny. Where they're like arguing about it. I'm like, because here's the example. We had to move some furniture out of one of the houses, and there's like these 2 floral couches or whatever, and he was taking them over to like donate or whatever, and he's like, okay, I need you to help me move these. I'm like, awesome. So like we pick it up or whatever, and like, they're trying to give you directions. He's like, pick it up over your head, pick it up over your head. I'm like, I literally can't.
Use your back.
I literally can't. He's like, use your legs. So we're like bringing it out of the house. First of all, like he's like, I have like a whole bunch of stuff on the patio or whatever, and I'm like, oh, should I move this out of our way? And he's like, no, we can carry the couch over it. I'm like, okay, I'm walking backwards out of the house, like there's stuff all over the patio. I can't see it. Like I should have moved it. And then we get to the truck and we need to like, he has the tailgate closed because we're just gonna like put the couches on there because we don't have the straps because you broke 2 of Mason's straps when he came to pick you guys up.
Oh gosh, really?
Yeah, he said that you didn't put the car in neutral, and you guys pulled off the straps broke.
Dang.
So
I guess we owe him 2 straps.
We didn't have any straps, and so he's just like, oh, I'm just gonna put it on top of there and just hope for the best. I'm like, okay. Because there was 2 couches, so we get the bigger couch actually wasn't that big of a problem, and I lifted up over the bed just fine. The little couch was what struggled. The little couch I feel like weighed 10 times heavier than the big couch did.
Mm.
I don't know if that's because I had just carried it.
Was it a couch that was like a pull-out bed couch though? Maybe
I
that's why
don't
it was
know.
heavier.
Maybe that's why. But it we get out to the truck bed, and then like we're just like standing like we're just like standing there holding it, and he's like, and he's on the other side of the couch, so like I can barely hear the directions that he's giving me, and he's like, pull it up over your head. I'm like, what? He's like, can you pick it up over your head? I'm like, I don't know what you're saying, and like my grip is slipping, and like we're just struggling all
The
together,
couch is like,
and so and so he's like, pick it up over your head and put it in the bed. Like, okay, I'm kind of short. I'm not standing up, but if you know me in real life or don't, I'm kind of short. Okay. So I'm like, I have the worst grip on it. I'm trying to put my leg on the tire so that I can like get it up. And he's like, come on, like, because he's waiting on me to to lift it up. Because I'm sure he already has his side up over his head, and he's just like, so the couch is like this, waiting on me, and I'm like, like screaming. I'm sure the people should have came outside, like who lived around the neighborhood, was like, what's going on? Because I was like, like I'm like trying to push it over like this. He's like, there you go, there you go. He's like, he was trying to be supportive. He was like, there you go, you got it, you're strong. I'm like, I did not. I wanted to
your
lay
arms
on
are
the
like
ground.
jello, and
No,
you're like,
literally, I was like, I can't. Like, I have no muscle. Like, it was so bad. We were arguing. We didn't argue, but it was just more of that, like, come on. And I'm like, what do you think I am? Like, do you think I'm Superwoman? And
no,
then it always ends up in, you need to work out.
yeah.
You need to start working out.
If you were in shape,
Literally, like, okay. Sure,
yeah.
sure, sure.
My husband thinks I'm way stronger than I am. Like, he's like, just lift it up, and I'm like, I'm literally trying. Also, your arms are a lot longer than mine too, so I can't freaking like
Yeah.
grip stuff.
Then that's the other part. Is like, our arms are short.
I
So then
feel like I have
we were
really
at a
short arms.
remodel yesterday, and Mason needed me to help hold something for him to like screw some nails in. He's like, can you hold this in place? They're like up on the like a door frame kind of, and it was tall, and like I was standing on my tippy toes putting my fingertip on it, and he's like, oh good, you barely reach it. I'm like,
You're
like,
like, yeah.
yeah, and he's like, oh well, I gotta get the screws or whatever. I'm like, why did you already have this ready? Like, 'cause I had to hold it like in place for him,
Uh-huh.
and so like I'm standing on my tiptoes holding it in place. He's like, oh, I gotta get the screws. I'm like, why didn't you already have that before you told me to hold it? Because like he had his hand there, and then I put mine there, so it didn't fall or whatever. So like
Right.
obviously I can't let go. And then I was helping him, and he was putting like this like door on or whatever, like those like accordion doors.
Mm-hmm.
So he's putting one of those on, and the screws that came in the kit are like tiny, and my husband's pretty burly, pretty big, and his hands can't hold the screws. So he's like trying to hold the screw and drill it at the same time, and he keeps dropping the screws.
Meanwhile, while you still have your finger on it.
No, this is a different
Okay,
time.
okay,
But like
okay.
he was like, I was on the inside of the closet holding the stuff on the wall for him on the door frame so he could drill it in on one side, and
Mm.
then you have to drill it in on the other side. So like I'm behind the closet door, he's over there, and he's like, okay, hold it still, and I'm holding it, and he's like, oh crap, the screw falls, and then he does it again, and the screw falls again. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, the screws are so tiny, I can't hold them. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like over here trying to hold it onto the wall. Then he's like, oh man, and another one falls. I'm like,
Y'all should be filming this.
yeah.
I
So
also had a hardware malfunction or whatever yesterday. I put all of our folded clothes away in the closet, and somehow our like doorknob for the closet has come off. Both ends of it, okay? Both
how
ends.
does that happen?
I don't know because we didn't tighten it. I don't really know how to happen. Anyways, both have come off, but I went to shut the closet door and I pulled it all the way. Okay, so I pulled it all the way, but now there's no knob to freaking
So
unlock.
you're locked in the closet.
No, I'm locked outside the closet.
Oh,
Thank God.
oh.
Oh, thank God, because If not,
You
I
didn't
probably
have
would
your
have died.
phone?
No, I didn't have anything. But the thing is, I found some tweezers. Like, oh, you could like see the lock, right? So I'm like, all I have to do is like just jimmy it, right? Like, it can't be that difficult. It's an interior door, whatever. No, I spent like an hour trying to get in the closet, like an hour, doing all these things with these tweezers, using a
Why
pin.
didn't you just put the door handle back on?
The door handle's in the closet. Okay.
Oh.
So then I thought too, okay, I'll take another door
So
handle
it
off.
just fell
Another
right through?
there's okay, the door, it's like two knobs on each side. I guess the screws came loose and this side fell out and this eventually came out. I don't know. I don't know exactly what happened, but the doorknobs weren't
So
in
on
there.
your side, there was the knob still there.
No, no knob. They're both in
How did they both get in the
That's
closet?
what I'm saying. I don't know. I think they fell apart in the closet anyways. And then I shut the door. So, but I'm like jimming it. It's not coming out. So then after
So
like
you shut the door, there was no handles on the door?
right, so I shouldn't have shut the door. I know, but I wasn't
So how
thinking
did you
about it.
shut the door if there was no handle?
Okay, well the hole with the lock is there. I just put my finger in there and closed it shut, okay? You know what I'm saying? But then I
Right.
heard latch and I was like, oh no, So then I was trying to get ready to go somewhere. And all of my clothes that I literally just put up were in the closet. So I can't get the closet unlocked. I have to, guess what I have to do? I have to wear the only shoes that I have that aren't in the closet are those freaking Croc slides. Okay, so I have
That
to
mom
wear
got
those out
us?
in public, even though they are the most comfortable thing ever. Yes, I have to wear those out in public now. Okay, with my freaking feet that
That's
aren't
funny.
polished or anything. So I had to wear that, some shorts. Like I just had a piecemeal something from our guest bedroom, but I was like, Anyway, so or tell my husband. I don't know.
I
Pick
can
that
figure
up.
it out. There.
So I tell my husband, I'm like, you need to get home because, like, this is later. I didn't tell him to come home right now, but later when we were at work, I said, hey, when you get home tonight, I need you to unlock the closet door because I need my clothes out of there, or our clothes, because we had plans that night too. And I'm like, hopefully you can do it because I watched all these videos and I tried to get unlocked and I just can't get this unlocked. He's like, really? You don't think I can get it unlocked? And I was like, I don't know. I spent an hour trying to get in there. Literally within 10 seconds, he opens the door. And I'm like, he's like, what's the problem? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, the door. All you had to do is push this thing back. And I just opened it. And I'm like, I was pushing that, but I guess I wasn't doing it hard enough. And he freaking just slides
Wow.
open. After I literally messed with it for 1 hour. I like freaking like was in there with a pin and tweezers, messed some pair of tweezers up pretty bad.
Yeah, that's the tweezers got messed up.
Well, they're cheap tweezers, so they were like bending. So yeah, they did. But that was
That's
my
funny.
fun, like Reno. Not a Reno, but mistake. Yes, how the lock fell off on both sides of the door handles. I really don't know what happened.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Okay, well, it was loose, and then it just kept getting looser, and then they just fell out. I guess.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know.
Oh,
It's the closet is just I don't like it. It's so small. We live in a townhome, but they like the way they designed this townhome. Very strange.
yeah, we were at when we were last thing before we go, but
Sorry, now we're way off topic from movies, but
that's
it's fun.
okay. If you're still listening,
Yeah.
thanks.
Thank you to the few people still listening, and thank you. Last time one of our fans, fact checked me because I did say the incorrect name last time we were filming.
Yeah,
I
that's one of my
said
besties.
I was talking about Bob Dylan being dead, and I meant John Denver. So I just wanted to clear that up for everyone.
Oh, real quick, I want to talk about the plane crash
Oh,
in
the Indian
India.
Air. I know that's
Isn't
so
that
sad.
one so sad? But the guy that survived?
Is this real?
No, this is real.
I
I
almost
mean,
have
from whatever everything I've seen is real. I saw the video of him walking.
Yeah, but is he confused? Like maybe he was just like in the neighborhood.
No,
No,
I don't think so.
that's so wild though.
First of all, he was in a different seat originally and got moved to the
Oh,
seat that he
really?
sat in, 11A. It was an exit row seat. He was originally in a different seat and got moved to that seat. Isn't that crazy?
That is like
And to like, I've seen the interviews of him talking or whatever, and he's he's just like, I thought that I was dead. And then when I opened my eyes, I realized that I was like the only person alive around me. Like, so crazy, so sad. Apparently, they think that it was like a double engine failure. Like, they literally took off.
I know, I saw that video.
The guy that lived said that he heard a loud bang or whatever with like right at takeoff, and like the cabin filled with smoke, and then after that they crashed. Like, isn't that crazy? So sad, but
And then did you see there's a couple of stories not coming out? One that a family of 5 had posted a selfie right before.
oh, I saw that.
That's
Was so sad.
That's why I'm weird about that stuff. I don't like posting when I'm getting on a plane.
I have both of us have lots of
severe flight anxiety.
Severe flight anxiety, but also like we believe in like juju.
Superstitious.
I don't know if that's the right term. Hopefully that's not like offensive. I'm not trying to be offensive, but like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what we have always
juju,
called
like,
it. But
juju
like,
is Juju, like juju.
Yeah. But we've always called it that, where it's like, oh, we don't want to be bad.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I could be offensive. That's
why I never post like getting on the airplane or picture of the airplane. I don't ever, because I always obsess over people's last moments if they're posted, right?
Yeah.
Like, this was posted by whoever before they took off a flight.
Honestly,
I start obsessing
sometimes I don't even want to text you guys like,
yeah, that you're
bye,
leaving.
love you guys. Like, sometimes I don't even want to
Yes.
say that, because I'm like, what if, like, I don't want to like manifest it being the last time, or like, we were, me and Mason, on our flight to Vegas. I'll even get weird with if the pilot says something. So like, we had boarded our flight to Vegas or whatever, and the pilot was like, oh no, this is when we were coming home. And when we were coming home, it was a rough flight, one of the rougher flights I've been on.
To me, it's always
like
rough.
Started texting Belle, like, it was bad. This is one of the worst ones I've been on.
Because I coming back from Vegas to me is the worst. I feel like it's the worst turbulence.
This was one of the worst ones I've been on. And before we had taken off, the pilot was like, yeah, like, we're gonna have some turbulence. There's storms in New Mexico. You know, we're gonna do our best, whatever. Da, da, da. And he's like, yeah, I'll make sure to get us there safely. And I look at Mason. I said, he did not just say that. And Mason like looks at me, because like, when people say that type of stuff, it's like, I feel like they jinxed it.
Right.
I'm like,
yes.
That's no. Why are you saying that? What are you saying? And I know that's like regular for them to say, but like, I've never really heard. It just maybe caught my attention more because I knew we were gonna have bad turbulence, and I looked at him, and I was like, oh no, I'm terrified. And there was so much turbulence. The plane was going like, it was doing the drop things where it was like whoosh, whoosh, and I was just like, I was not okay. And I was trying to be chill, because Mason doesn't like it either. So then like, he starts getting a little worried. So I'm trying to be chill, and then he's like talking to the flight attendants or whatever, and this flight attendant was like, you could see like my husband started to get a little bit like, you know, and the flight attendant looks at him, he's like, are you okay? And he's like, no. He's like, I could see that. And he's like, I said, yeah, he's staring at you guys to look at your reaction, because Mason thinks that like,
if they're not panicking, then there's nothing
yes,
to worry
but
about.
I'm also like, you know, they're probably trained not to,
but also too, like, they might not even know what's going on either. Like, they might not be panicking because they have no idea if something's wrong,
right?
Until the pilot comes.
I mean, I did see that like, usually turbulence is totally fine. Usually like, plane crashes most of the time happen because of like an engine failure,
and they
or, like,
usually happen
like
on takeoff or landing.
Yeah,
most of them do not happen while you're way up.
So
I mean, some do, obviously, but
so I just kept thinking about like, it's just turbulence, but it was so bad. It was like shaking, and it was doing the like the drop things. My stomach was like, oh, it was awful. It was so bad. It was.
Jeremy always tells me, my husband always tells me, you're freaking other people out. Stop it. Because I'm like looking around. People probably think I'm like a lunatic or something, but I'm like looking back, looking forward, looking. And Vegas is one of the worst airports to fly out of, because you have to like take off like a jet. Like, you know how like from DFW.
Yeah.
Oh, well, don't know if we're really anyways, it just is like, it's like gradually takes off, right?
Yeah.
When you take it from Vegas, you like, it's like a jet. It's like almost straight up, and they are going like full force. Like,
and it's windy
over the mountains, right?
It's windy and it's hot, and so it's like,
and it feels like it's not gonna take off, but then it's like,
that's what the flight attendant said. He was like, it's, you know, it's always like this out of Vegas.
Yes,
and
it is. It's
like, oh god, it was so bad. It was so bad. And sometimes it's so windy there that the flights get delayed. Like we've been there before
Or
when the
too
flight
hot.
was delayed because it was or too hot.
Yeah.
We've been there before when our flight was delayed because it was too windy, and we've also been there whenever it was like really bad windy, and those planes were trying to land and they couldn't land, and you could just see the planes trying to land and they would go back up, and they would try to land and they would get like circling and they couldn't land because it was so windy. And there was a girl on that one of those flights that said that she got sick. She was throwing up because it was so because
Really?
they would go down, they'd come, they would turn around, and they would try to land again, and they would go down and go like 4 times.
I don't think I've ever been on a flight that's done the try to land.
Yeah.
I've been on one where we've circled above because we're waiting to land, but never like a. If we did that, I think I'd be freaked out because I'm like, we're so close to being off of this contraption.
I don't know. So crazy. Shout out to all the pilots out there.
Yeah,
for keeping us safe.
R.I.P. to the people who passed away on the plane. That's sad.
Very sad.
And I also saw one of their videos circulating that some guy, which you never know if it's like a real video or not, but he was like pointing out all the things weren't working. The air wasn't working. Have you seen that video? Yeah, it's like some guy, he's like taking pictures of the buttons. They're like touchscreen. Nothing's working on the plane before taking
From the same flight? Oh no.
But the only thing that makes you question that is like that guy filmed that whole thing and then uploaded it right before he left. Like, why though?
Or he sent it to somebody.
Oh yeah,
because a lot of times it's like they're just sending it to a friend, just like how I would or whatever. Footage. That's probably how.
I am curious if the guy who survived is going to come out with more of like an elaborate, like what he actually saw, or they're hiding that in wraps, because I guess he saw people like, I guess it explode, and that's why everybody mainly dies from like the fire, because like you can see the tail sticking out of that building, which is crazy because like if you were down in that cargo area right there, you might have survived, or in the back bathroom. You know what I'm saying? I always think about that, like little spots you could survive in, but again, if it's your time, it's your time, I guess. So
Mason has a superstition, so we always sit on the right side of the plane.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we always sit on the right side of the plane.
I don't really have a preference. I don't know. I kind of just sit wherever. Sometimes the back.
Yeah, I just get bad anxiety. I don't know how we're gonna fly overseas.
Yeah, we're taking our first long flight at the end of, or in November. Coming back, it's almost a 6-hour flight. So
where are you going?
To Aruba.
Oh, well, I think you mentioned that.
Jeremy's dad.
Yeah.
My husband's dad has timeshare in Aruba.
Oh, I think you remember telling me that.
So
yeah, we're trying to go to Germany next year. So I'm like, you're gonna have to take care of. Ooh, sorry. You're gonna have to take care of our child so that way I can go to sleep.
For real, like knock you out with something.
Well, that's our show.
Yes, thank you for joining us, especially if you stayed tuned for this long. Don't forget the next movie we're reviewing is The Dark Knight. So if you want to catch up on it and watch it before you listen to the podcast.
Yep. And we hope everybody has a great day.
I'm Mel.
And I'm Ash.
And this is Plot Twist.
See ya.
Cut. I think we went way over.
No, but there's that long cut I have to cut out. I'm taking her out. So that's why
Oh, that's an hour and 12 minutes.
That's why I kept going, is because